A new city manager could be announced during tonight's Scottsbluff City Council meeting. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the city of Scottsbluff could be very close to having a full-time city manager for the first time since Dustin Reef's contract was terminated in February. The final agenda item for the Scottsbluff City Council for tonight's meeting is to discuss and consider making an offer to city manager candidates and give direction to staff on an agreement. Last week, finalist Matthew Schmitz from Lansing, Kansas, and interim city manager Kevin Spencer met with city officials and the public during the final round of the interview process. Schmitz told KNB News that he and his wife would plan on staying in Scottsbluff until their children graduate from high school if he were offered the job. Kevin Spencer said that if he was offered the job, it would be his hope to also remain on as police chief and continue operating in the same fashion as he has been for the past 9 months. Well, if you want to get to Denver International Airport but don't want to fly there and prefer not to drive yourself, Kimball County Transit System now has a third option you can consider. The Red Line started November 1st, providing 2 daily round-trip shuttles between the Scottsbluff Airport and DIA, with stops to pick up passengers from Harrisburg, Kimball, and Fort Morgan. Christy Warner, Kimball County Transit Administrator, says passengers choosing the option will find it reliable and enjoyable.
It doesn't matter if, one person is on the bus or the bus is filled, we're going. So there's no cancellations other than if the roads are closed. Obviously, we can't control that, but we've had some really great response. They love it, and I can't wait for them to see the new vehicles that we're getting for the Red Line. We've got some coach-style vans coming that have the captain seats and the USB chargers and the Wi-Fi, just to make it a really nice ride to DIA.
Warner says the service will meet the needs of those who don't mind driving to DIA, but dread driving home after a long flight, not to mention the cost of fuel and parking. One-way fares are $75, but with a group of 3 or more, the rate is cut in half for each person, and reservations are recommended 72 hours in advance and can be made by calling 308-235-0262. We'll have more news right after this.
Culture trumps everything else.
In my years, I've never worked for a company that treats people the way this one does.
It is my passion for agriculture that brought me here in the first place, but not only that, there's a huge family-oriented atmosphere within the 21st Century Equipment.
I love working for 21st. They found something in me that I didn't know in myself. An intern to where I'm at now is such a great opportunity, and that is what this company is about.
Welcome back. Bond has been set at $1 million for a Gering man accused of several alleged child sex crimes. 37-year-old Eduardo Salinas Jr. has been charged with 9 felonies, 4 of them sexual assault of a child more than 12 years old but less than 16, as well as knowingly and intentional child abuse. Court records say during a capstone interview this week, prompted by a Project Harmony report, the victim went into great detail describing how the suspect was usually drunk, physically and sexually abused her despite her objections, and that she was finally tired of bottling everything up. Investigators say during the interview it was determined that the sexual assaults had taken place 4 times in the last 3 weeks. Salinas Jr. made an initial appearance in Scottsbluff County Court Friday morning, with preliminary hearing set for November 9th. Well, the 32-year-old Broadwater man charged with murdering his father over a dispute about chores is set to be back in court this week. Joseph Bennett is charged with first-degree murder and use of a firearm to commit a felony in connection to the fatal shooting that occurred in the small Morrill County community back in August. Bennett pleaded not guilty to the Class 1A and 1C felonies and his attorney, through the Commission of Public Advocacy, has filed a motion to push back the tentative December trial date. A hearing on that matter has been set before District Judge Andrea Miller. And a 22-year-old Bluffs man charged with arson after reportedly trying to start a fire in a Scottsbluff apartment has had his case bound over to district court. Scottsbluff police were dispatched to the 15th Avenue apartment last month and found Carmelo Ozuna had used a lighter to burn a hole in a Lazy Boy recliner, causing smoke to fill the unit. He's facing a Class 2 felony charge of first-degree arson and is scheduled to be arraigned on the charge in district court on November 18th. Well, still to come, the Scottsbluff Bearcats rolled over their old nemesis Omaha Skutt Friday night at Bearcat Stadium. Chris Cottrell will have all the highlights in just a little bit.
Allo means reliability, productivity, connect. Allo means no more of that. Allo means business. Local business, big business, small business. If you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation, symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
Are you looking for the perfect place to hold a wedding, family reunion, holiday office party, or business meeting? Well, look no further. The Hampton Inn and Suites Hotel and Conference Center is just the place for you. We're a full-service banquet facility that can host up to 400 of your guests. Stop in and see our spacious open-concept meeting rooms and begin planning your special event or family gathering today. Let us do the work for you so you can enjoy your guests. For personal service, stop by the Hampton Inn and Suites front desk.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
Now, sports from the FNBO Sports Desk. FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
The Skutt Monkey is off the back for Scottsbluff football. It was the Class B quarterfinals on Friday night at Bearcat Stadium. Scottsbluff hosting old nemesis Omaha Skutt Catholic. Skutt won state title games over the Cats in 2018 and 2019. They also won a playoff game over Scottsbluff here in town back in 2014. In this one, though, it was a dominant home showing for the Bearcats. The 3 seed in the Class B playoffs, they roll past the 6 seed Skyhawks. The final score was 33-0. After a defensive stop to start the game, it sure didn't take long for Scottsbluff to announce their presence as the Braden Stoll show got started on the third play of the game. The senior quarterback racing 74 yards for the opening touchdown of the night. Late first quarter, with under a minute to play, it Stoll for a second time. This one from 9 yards out, and after a block PAT, it was 13-0 Scottsbluff. The second quarter produced a flurry of turnovers on 3 straight possessions. Skutt fumbles on what was their best offensive drive of the night, if that tells you anything. But then Stoll throws an interception down the middle of the field, only to see Stoll come right back in the defensive backfield to pick off a Bennett Turman pass out near the 50-yard line. Scottsbluff would take the first half clock down to the final moments as Stoll then scored his third rushing touchdown, and at halftime it was Scottsbluff leading 19-0. Skutt was not done having to deal with Braden Stoll as he scored 2 more touchdowns in the third quarter. About midway through the third, he scored number 4 on a 17-yard run that made it 26-0, and then one more for good measure in the closing seconds of the third quarter, a 16-yard run. It was 33-0. Stoll finished the game with 211 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Scottsbluff as a team, well, they ran for 413 yards on the night. After leaving with an injury on the first play of the game, Sebastian Boyle came back in the second half and ran for 76 yards in the win. For the defense, a late stop, and they get their third shutout in their last 5 games. Up next, a semifinal trip to play Omaha Gross Catholic this Friday night. More good vibes from the weekend as the WNCC volleyball team went 3-0 at the Region 9 tournament, winning the championship match last Friday in 4 sets over Central Wyoming. Allie Mayoni won tournament MVP honors. Erica Fava named the Region 9 South Player of the Year. The Cougars get an auto bid to the national tournament. That'll start next Thursday in West Plains, Missouri. Seedings and pairings for nationals will be announced later this week. And basketball season is underway for WNCC. The women go 1-1 out in Twin Falls, Idaho, beating Yavapai College before losing to number 10 CSI. The men's team blasted the Adams State JV team in their home opener. They'll host Laramie County coming up tomorrow night at Cougar Palace. Tip-off at 6 o'clock. That's the latest today from the FNBO Sports Desk. I'm Chris Cottrell.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
Well, let's take a look what's happening on today's community calendar. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. First State Bank is now Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the same people you know and trust.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, A family from Minutair has been recognized as the Family of the Year for 2022 by the University of Kearney Parent and Family Association. Lorenzo and Flora Perez and their 5 children were honored by the organization last month. The couple immigrated to the U.S. from Mexico as young adults and never had the chance to attend college, but 3 of their children have graduated from UNK. The 4th is a junior at the school, and their youngest, an 8th grader, is already talking about attending the Kearney campus after she graduates. Oldest daughter Myra Lara says her parents always said education was super important, and all of the kids took that very seriously from the moment they started kindergarten until high school graduation. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.